Hi, Verl Workman here. It's Big V. Today we're talking teams and we're talking about what's going on in the real estate market. What is an agent to do? Is there really threats, and is it going to change the way we operate and function in real estate? How many of you have heard or watched the news recently and heard about class action lawsuits? The consumer going after the real estate industry, not just big brokers and brands, but also the National Association of Realtors, talking about how they feel like they've been misled in the home buying and selling process. What's the impact of that going to be, and how do we actually deal with it? I'm going to give you some thoughts. I'm also going to give you some context on what's going on with these lawsuits. And in the end, I'm going to give you what we call is the class action advantage, a full download resource on how to message to the marketplace when somebody asks you the question, what about commissions? How is what's going on in the world affecting what I pay you? And are you willing to negotiate your commission? All of those things are happening. So we're going to talk about the class action lawsuit. So the headlines right now, I want you to put yourself, instead of in the seat of a real estate agent or team member, I want you to put yourself in the seat of a consumer. What does the consumer hear on the news? I mean, CNN, CNBC, Fox News, doesn't matter how you lean politically. If you watch the news at all, you're hearing about these lawsuits. Millions and billions of dollars have been awarded in class action lawsuits. Copycat suits have been filed. NAR has been named. Big brands, some have settled, some have not. They have actually ruled in favor of the consumer, saying that there was deceit that happened in the process. Whether or not there was, I'm not going to pass judgment on. I'm just going to say that that's what's happening in the courts. There's going to be appeals, and it's going to be interesting of what happens. As a result of that, we have to do business differently. And whether or not you believe there's going to be change in the marketplace, I'm going to share with you my thoughts on what I think is going to happen. First of all, I think that the relationships in real estate, as they've always been important, will continue to be important. There will continue to be downward pressure on commissions because people, as consumers, have often asked the question, why am I paying a percentage of my sales price when it takes the same effort to sell a $200,000 house as it does $1 million house? And a lot of consumers struggle with that. Agents who don't know how to sell the services they offer or the value they provide end up discounting their price, whatever their commission is. So in the absence of value, price will always be the objection, regardless of the outcome of a lawsuit. If you don't know how to sell your services and you don't know how to give value in the transaction, then your services have no value and the consumer sees it. The way we communicate to buyers and sellers before a transaction is also critical. So everybody is clear how commission is paid, who pays it, and how it affects the sales price of the home. We've gone from a market where if you just show up and you can fog a mirror, you can sell a house. I call that an activity-based market, into what we now call is a skills-based market, where the agents must have a higher level of knowledge, education, and professionalism, and they have to have the skills to navigate these changing waters of real estate that include not only the class action lawsuit, but increased inflation, increased interest rates, and consumer demand. With limited inventory and the housing shortage that's out there in underserved markets, real estate agents have to be better prepared, better educated, more knowledgeable than they ever have been before. This world where it's okay to just have a real estate license and have a friend with a license no longer applies. It's now time for us as an industry to raise our IQ, to be better at the business, to be better with our skills, and to be more prepared to do the right thing for our client, regardless of how much we get paid. I also believe that moving into a skills-based market creates a great opportunity for those who have a lot of experience. How we message to our clients and the way that we communicate matters. Popping by with a jar of jam used to be a great idea to stay fresh at the front of the mind, but now our pop-bys need to be more inclusive with real estate knowledge and information and value that separates us from everybody else. The skills-based market means that we need to engage in training like buyer agent mastery, listing agent mastery, and admin training, BAM, AMP, RAM, SLAM, the programs that we use at Workman to develop our clients. The consumer is going to demand excellence or not be willing to pay whatever fee you charge. It's on us as real estate agents, brokers, and teams to be able to provide excellence equal to the compensation that we're requesting. It makes sense. We just can't sit by and wait and see what happens if we want to continue to get paid. We need to collectively start making changes as an industry and elevate our position. on both the buy side and the sell side, and potentially it's going to change how written agreements are done as well. So let me give you some things, and I'm going to give you some bullet points of things you can consider doing today. Number one, as we've always done in past, let's never talk about what we charge as rates between firms. That's collusion. It's illegal. It's not right. It's not fair to the consumer. There is no standard commission. Commission has always been negotiable, and we don't need to be talking about what we charge between each other. Number two is start making it really clear that to the consumer that all fees in real estate are negotiable. My fees are negotiable, and so now it's my job to explain to you the value of why I charge the fee I charge. It's negotiable. Number three, when compensation for a buyer's agent is offered by a seller, it's really important to explain that on properties where the seller isn't paying the full commission that you've decided and agreed to, that the buyer has to make up the difference. And that needs to be disclosed in your conversation. It also needs to be disclosed that if the seller's paying the commission, that it could be reflected in the sales price because the seller probably raised the price of their home to be able to offer a fair and equitable compensation to both the agents that are involved in the transaction. The next thing is do the right thing for your client no matter what, whether you're getting paid or not. Like, we avoid steering our clients away from properties where sellers aren't willing to pay a full commission to the buyer's agent or whatever that commission is. We do the right thing. If it's the right house for the client and serves their needs, you got to present it to them and give them the option. It's not up to you to decide that you're not going to show that property because of what you get paid. Do the right thing. We also believe buyer's agent commissions may very soon be able to be rolled into the mortgage just like they are when the seller pays it. Be very clear about buyer expectations of compensation. It's important that we believe the best way to do this, and we've always taught it. You can go back to the training we've done for the last 20 years and you'll see we've always taught getting a buyer representation agreement signed. But because so many agents don't know how to sell their values, they drive people around, they show houses without any agreement on how compensation is going to be handled, hoping that they get paid at the closing. And it's just bad business. It also shows that you really don't value the services you provide because you give away your services for free. If you give away your services for free, what then is the value of your service? So make sure that there's a clear discussion of compensation and a contract that shows how everybody gets paid. It eliminates all confusion in the transaction. The next is, and this is really important, number 6, is we need to improve communication between the buyers and agents on both sides of transactions. That includes promoting the value proposition of having great agents involved in the transaction. There is nothing I love more than working with other agents that are well-trained, that are educated, that have great market knowledge, that do appropriate pricing, that have been skilled in negotiation, emotional intelligence, and behavioral styles. When I deal with a professional on the other side of a transaction, it ups my game and allows me to come in and serve my client the best because I know they're doing the best for them. And when we both work together to serve our clients, everybody in the transaction wins. It's not a competition. It's not doing better at somebody else's expense. It's doing what's right for the consumers in the transaction. And better agents that know how to put deals and keep deals together like working with each other. Never slam your competition. Don't slam the industry, and don't talk bad about each other. It's time to elevate the professionalism we have as an industry with real estate agents on both sides of the transactions. Number 7 is the agents who have a higher skill and development are going to win. If you invest in learning how to be better at the business, if you focus on skills development and be better at negotiation, be better at identifying underserved markets, be better at helping people from different demographics, be able to help property values increase by understanding staging and understanding what to do in a property, the more education and skills you have to put your client in a better situation to maximize the opportunity, whether they're buying or selling, the more value you have in the transaction, and you'll be able to charge the fee that is fair parties involved. And the last thing, and I think that this is something that should have changed a long time ago, is buyers agents need to show up and do a full presentation, just like a listing presentation, that establishes their value and sets the term of the relationship. By being really great at a buyer presentation, everybody signs agreements and you know what to expect from each other. I'm going to give you the class action advantage. I'm going to give you all of these resources so that you can now set your team up for success. So download the class action advantage and let's use this threat of this class action lawsuit as an advantage to elevate each other, to elevate the industry, and to elevate the relationships we have with our clients. Business is going to change. Are you going to change with it?